Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I posted. Just been really busy with work and school starting again for the kids and all that. But I think it's time to post again because I've had this Tesla Model Y long range for nearly 3 months now, just over 2,000 miles. And I want to give my initial impressions. So I've done one long road trip up towards, from Southern Oregon up towards Salem. I think that was over 400 miles in a day. So I've got a lot of local driving and then the road trip. So I feel good about just initial impressions of this car and what I'm thinking about it. So yeah, let's get started. We'll just start with the exterior. And so I think it looks fine. You know, it's gray. It's kind of a big bubble of a car. You know, when I first brought it home, my wife said it looked like an oversized Porsche, and I think maybe that's because of the lights. She also said it looked like the Batmobile, which the interior is white and it's not black on the outside, so I don't totally see that, but I get where she's coming from, especially with the kind of blacked out wheels now. And these wheels were supposed to be gray, which I didn't like, but I didn't want to pay $500 for the upgrade. But got an email when this was ordered that they were just swapping them anyway. They probably ran out of the other ones in inventory, so I like these much better. Anyway, the front of the car is probably going to change when the Juniper comes out, but it is definitely a bug magnet, especially on a road trip. I think it's going to slope more, kind of like the new Model 3. But overall, it's a nice looking car. What I don't like is that you have one standard option for the exterior. And I like this one. I'm glad it's not the white anymore. This is the standard option, this kind of stealth gray color. But you know, with typical car companies, you have multiple car options, exterior options, and then one or two that you have to pay extra for. And it's opposite with Tesla. This is your one option, and then you're going to pay extra if you want, say, you know, the blue or the red or even the black or the white. Now at this point, those are an upgrade. So coming around to the back right here, this is a charge port. And this is really the main reason I got this car over a different EV. I actually had the Chevy Equinox on order, and then Tesla came out with the 0.99% loan, and I went for it. So, and I canceled my Equinox order. And I think that was a good decision overall for me, especially because if this is going to be the road tripping car, then this is what I really wanted. And that was the access to the Tesla network, charging network. And, you know, I know that other car companies are converting over, but, you know, we've had Ford make the announcement first, and then Chevy made the announcement that they were going to NACS, and then Rivian, and then all the other companies, right? Ford, not long after, already has access to the Tesla network. Rivian, access to the Tesla network without using Magic Dock. Chevy, we're now in September, and they still don't have access, and no one's talking about it. You know, that they don't have access still unless you go to a Magic Dock. So I'm not really sure what happened there, what's going on there. Pretty sure they said, you know, I think they said second quarter. So I don't know what happened with that. But either way, you know, NACS integrated directly into this. Other car companies aren't doing that till next year. And yeah, so this charging port was the main reason, or one of the main reasons I went away from the Equinox, came to the Tesla Model Y, and on top of that, Tesla was having their percentage loan deals. And what I had on order was the Equinox 3LT, because I thought that was most comparable to this dual motor Model Y, and the 3LT kind of had all the bells and whistles plus all-wheel drive. And so I felt like that was the most comparable. And if you look at the price for what you're getting, I felt like price-wise the Model Y kind of beat it out. You had the seven seat option, you had the faster charging, you had access to the network, plus you had the 0.99% loan deal. And so I canceled my Equinox order and went with the Model Y. As you can see in the back here, tons of space, even with the chairs up. So you could easily come over here and just push this button, and that drops, and then you have even more space, you know, and drop that other side too. But even with these chairs up, tons of space. And I've done a Costco run for our family in here. You've got these side cubbies you can drop things into. You've got this under floor storage here. You've got another side cubby over there. And typically what you would have is more storage under here. But I have the 7 seats, and I'll just get into that now. That is one thing I would change. I don't think I would order the 7 seats. I love the white seats, and at the time, I don't know if this is still going on, if you ordered the white seats, it was like, I forget now, a certain amount upgrade. If you ordered the 7 seats, it was a certain amount upgrade. If you ordered both, it was the same amount as just doing one. So I went with both, and I have honestly not used the third row except just to see what it was like one day. And I have that video. You guys can check that video out. But aside from testing it, we've never used it. And there may have been an opportunity here or there to use it, but we jumped in our van instead. I think that having more storage under here may actually be more useful to us as our kids grow. But we have the option, and it's nice. And you can see how much, even with the middle row up, how much storage you have. You can drop that. I really like how it's a 40-20-40 split, because you could drop that middle section and put some long things down the middle there. You're all good. So tons of storage in here. Plus you've got the front trunk, which I have used. You know, a lot of people, or at least, you know, manufacturers that don't put a front trunk in their cars, they say, oh, people don't use it. I don't know. It's there, and I've used it. Mostly have used it for food and like takeout and stuff. But it's a pretty good size. Let me get it open here on the app. So this is a pretty good size up here. Just kind of open it, unlock it, lift it open. It's nice and deep. Definitely, I mean, it's not huge, but you could get a backpack in there. You could get other bags in there. I've used it for just takeout food and things like that. So definitely lots of options for storage. So exterior, it's nice. I mean, you know, you're seeing more and more of these on the road. I like that. I like that it's becoming commonplace. But I'm seeing, you know, a lot in my area, and we definitely are not an EV area. But I think the Model Y is a popular vehicle for lots of reasons, and I think storage is one of them. Plus, it's a fun drive. I keep mine in chill mode most of the time, but you put it in standard mode and you're 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. And I don't think there's a whole lot of mainstream cars that do that. You know, I will say this. So as far as the purchasing of this car, it was pretty seamless, except for the distance away that the nearest Tesla center is from my location. It's 3 hours away in Bend, Oregon. You could also go to the Salem location, which is still about 2.5 hours away, but for some reason they had my car coming into the Bend location, because I think mileage wise it's closer, but drive wise it really is longer to get there. And when I was driving home, my son was behind me, and he noticed that these lights worked when I would kick it in reverse or stop, but these lights here didn't. And that was really my mistake. I should have checked that on the lot there. and that's really the only issue I've had with this car the whole time, but it was right off the lot, and that was pretty annoying. So I basically got home. I'm going to insert the video here, hopefully, of what it looks like. Not on when my lights are on. On.
You see the white lights?
Yeah. In reverse, this white light is on. In reverse, this white light is not on. But basically got home, jumped on the app, scheduled a service appointment. They made the service appointment for an at-home appointment. So I was like, great, that'll be easy. It was probably a week after, scheduled for a week after. And all of a sudden, without like a notification or anything, I noticed on my own, looking at the appointment, that it had changed to a service center appointment, which means a 3-hour drive back to Bend for them to look at it and then drive home. 6 hours driving for brake lights. So I messaged them right away. I said, why did this change? They said, oh, you know, diagnostics take too long in the field. I said, it's just a brake light. You know, let's check it locally first because you guys have offered that. They're like, okay, well, we can do that, but if it shows that it's, needs diagnostics, then we won't, be able to fix it for you on site. I was like, well, let's start there at least, so week later, someone came out, really nice. I could just keep the car in my driveway, and they notified me when they were there. They already had access to the car. I was working, came out, saw what he was doing. He basically, all he had to do, and the guy was great, no fault, he was excellent, but all he had to do was remove this panel here on the underside, see where the lights connect to power basically, and they were never connected. So all he had to do was take that panel off, connect the lights to power, and they worked, and that was it. And I didn't have to drive 6 hours round trip. So that would have been a definite negative if I drove there just for them to reconnect the cabling, which had never been connected in the first place. Otherwise, you walk around the car and there's not really, people talk about panel gaps. Maybe there's just a little bit, oops, here or there, but nothing different than other cars that I've noticed. So let's jump in here and check out the interior. All right, this interior is another reason why I kind of went with this car over the Equinox. Really, the Equinox was the only other car I was looking at, and I had it ordered, and then I canceled it when Tesla came out with the deal for this car. And this is a plus or minus depending on who you are. I personally like the minimalist clean look, and I love these white seats and the space in here. White seats are easy to wipe down and clean off. You really just need a wipe. I just keep wipes in the car, don't even need to use them that often, and wipe the seats down. So pretty easy. But yeah, the interior is really great. Just like all the little things they've thought about, just all the controls on these buttons if you need them. And really it's their infotainment screen, and just the updates and how you don't need anything else. I mean, people say, oh, I want physical buttons for the air AC. Hit it up and down, you're done. That would go away on its own if you wanted. So really doesn't take that long. Don't need physical buttons. You've got everything you need right here at your fingertips. And the other great thing about this is that they're constantly updating it. So you can go to software, and we're already on a new version, and release notes, and you can just see, minor fixes not that long ago, different additions here, in just the short time that I've had this car. One cool thing they added was now when I click on the temperature, I get an AQI level. Today's kind of smoky outside, actually. I'm surprised it's showing it that low, but humidity, all this stuff, you know, you get extra information that you didn't have before. And that, I've had this car for 3 months, and they added that a couple weeks ago. And so this is constantly updated, kept fresh, things like that. This, along with the app that is also excellent, you know, this is a major reason why I would go with this car over another EV, because most EVs, their software, and this is really the future of cars, everything revolves around the interior software. This is just leagues ahead. I know Rivian is right there with them, but if you look at Chevy and the other companies you may go to an EV for, like Honda and stuff, this is just, they don't compare, in my opinion, here. And Chevy's, I think, has made a good step going to a Google-based system versus their own, but really they need to bring their own software, you know, hire their own people in-house and build their own software from the ground up like Tesla and Rivian have, because, you know, using Google or using any third party, you're not going to get updates pushed out fast enough or often, or changes, or, you know, have it as totally integrated as Tesla and Rivian do. And, you know, you could see that even at the beginning when the Blazer was first introduced and they were having issues. It took a long time for them to fix that. And that's because it's not in-house. It's not their own system, purely their own system. I do think it's a good step forward, but this is just much, much better. And then, you know, other people will say, well, you know, they don't really need their in-house stuff if they would have just stuck with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. To be honest, you know, I have Apple CarPlay in our Chevy Bolt EUV, and I much prefer this. I mean, there are negatives. This isn't like a 10 out of 10, 100%, everything's perfect car. There definitely are negatives, especially when it comes to messaging and things like that. But phone integration works great. I get messages great, you know, if I'm driving and my kids are like, nope, now you need to pick me up from here, or things got delayed or whatever. Messages coming in are great, going out are great. I have not missed Apple CarPlay at all. The only thing is, you know, we have a family group chat. When they message me, it comes in as if just the individual person, not the chat. But I know that and just can respond to them, and it's honestly not a big deal. So that's really the only negative, is messaging. As far as everything else, the way everything is integrated is great. Like, look, you can see this right here. You know, you'd say, oh, that's too far, you know, the play and pause button. Well, it's actually there for the passenger, because right now on this card here, I have it on miles. But if I swipe that over, now I have control, and that goes away and gives me more screen over there. And it's just those little touches. If I had something in the navigation here, let's do that. Navigate to Chick-fil-A. All right, it's closed on Sunday. Great, still gonna go there. All right, so now I'm navigating to Chick-fil-A. It's on there, but you know what? I'm gonna bring something else up here. Okay, let's go back to the navigation screen. You probably saw that right there. It's telling me to put my seatbelt on. But navigating to Chick-fil-A, everything's over here. You know, turn-by-turn directions up in that corner there. But then I'm gonna cover up this screen, and it gives me the next turn-by-turn direction. Now it gives it to me over here. Just simple quality of life things that they've thought about that work really well. Here, get rid of that, and that's gone there. Now, here's my biggest gripe about this. Actually, I'll do two. I'll do two for now, and I'll save the rest for when I do a thorough video on the infotainment screen and just do it on that. But my biggest, I'll do a not so big gripe at first, is that yes, so I can put my phone here on this charging pad, and you can see, boom, went green, and it starts charging right away. But there is nothing on the screen here to show me that my phone is charging, and or the percentage that my phone is at. And other cars do that. I don't see why that would be a hard thing to do, and integrate just a little battery icon for your phone up here. That would be nice. The other thing I really don't care for is this side of the screen. I just don't get it. I'm sure they're showing off their technology, like, look at what our cameras can do, but I just, like, I can swipe over that way, and just have the full car there. Like, put it in a, great, I've got the full car there. Okay, fine. When I'm driving, kick it into drive, and you know, usually you'll see the road I'm on, cars around me, pedestrians, things like that. Don't need it. I'm looking, I can see. I'm not, I would never just use this screen, you know, to look for that. I don't get it. And while I can swipe all the way over and just have driving and reduce the map, why can't I swipe all the way this way, get rid of that, keep the miles per hour up here still on the map, you know, rearrange things a little bit, or, you know, when I bring up Spotify or some other app, boop, put the map over here instead of this, which in my opinion is useless. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something on that, and if someone else finds this side of the screen useful. And I'm not talking about the little icons, like obviously drive and how fast I'm going and what the speed limit is. And these cards down here are fabulous. Love all that. I'm just talking about this section here, the main section that shows my car. Yes, I know I'm driving. Sorry, technical difficulties, camera overheated. Anyway, so I think you got it. They could really do something if I make this an option too, just like that's an option to get rid of this left side. But other than that, I mean, I do not have any complaints in regards to this car. Major complaints, I'll say. If I would include a major complaint, I've had no issues with the car except for the light, and they came out to the house and fixed that. If I had... Okay, camera keeps overheating, so I'm gonna make this quick. If I had to drive out for that 6 hours round trip for the lights, that would have been a major complaint. But road tripping in this car has been easy. The interior is just, I just can't say enough about the infotainment. I think it's integrated into everything so well. It's an EV, so let me touch on that. I just think the efficiency of it is really well too. I'm just surprised when I'm, you know, on the highway or the freeway. I'm just surprised at, you know, the miles per kilowatt hour and how well it does. I'm going to end this video here real quick. Just what's to come. A lot of people I know are putting paint protection film all over the car. Not going to do it. This is my car. I'm just going to drive it and use it how I've used all other cars. It's so far so good. I do have this scuff. All right, switch to my iPhone, you know, and I'm going to see if I can rub that out or something somehow. But yeah, the plastic around the wheels, you could see maybe, you know, some stuff that might happen to those. But overall, no real complaints. Super efficient vehicle, super versatile. What comes next? You know, lots more road trips hopefully in it, even if they're long day trips. I am going to take it into a car wash. A lot of people say don't do that. Tesla recommends if you do go into a car wash that it's a touchless one, so I will do that. Yeah, and just life with the Tesla and the Bolt, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, overall right now, no major complaints. Lots of little things that, not even a lot of little things, just a few little things with the infotainment that's already so good. But I think if they just give us more options, it would be even better. The only thing I would change is I wouldn't have gotten the 7-seater, but I love the white interior and I love the space that you get. An overall great car, and I think it's only going to get better with the Juniper version. Oh, why didn't I wait for Juniper? Well, like I said, the 0.99% loan deal was too hard to pass up, especially since I was already had a car on order and was already looking to add something to the fleet. So that was a big reason. And I don't know if the tax credit will be available still when the Juniper is released. And I'm not sure, you know, how different it will be. Yes, we can look at the Model 3 and see the changes, and we'll probably have an LFP battery available, which would be nice. But I don't know that it was enough, at least for our use case scenario, to wait. So we'll see when it comes out what that's like and all the changes. And I think the Model Y will continue to be a bestseller with the changes they continue to add to it. So yeah, that's all for today. And thank you for watching. And yeah, we'll catch you later. Bye.